My name is Melanie Thomas, and today I'm giving a persuasive speech on why students should be offered free lunch at school. School is supposed to be a place that students go and feel comfortable in their environment. Have you ever tried to do anything on an empty stomach? If you're like me, then usually you end up angry and don't feel like doing anything. So why should students who are trying to get an education to be the future of our world have to go without food all day simply because they do not have enough money to pay for it? A few topics I will speak on today will be why free lunches should be offered at schools, what is a typical school lunch debt, lunch shaming, and the outcome of free school lunch. You might be asking yourself, why should my tax dollars be used to feed children going to school? If you would just sit and think on that topic for a second and put yourself on the other side of the fence with the parents who cannot afford to pay for their school's lunches, you may think a little differently. Some schools offer free or reduced price lunches to students of low-income homes, but even that, there's a demanding amount of paperwork to fill out, which then has to be approved to determine if your family qualifies. As stated in the website Scary Mommy, in the article, this is why school lunch should be a literal free-for-all. Some families may not file the paperwork because of language barriers or fear of someone discovering their immigration status, or because the parents are abused or neglected in some way, which isn't the child's fault. Some kids have a way harder life than others. This may be the only hot, nutritious meal that they receive all day. So why should we punish the children by depriving them of a meal just because they may not or may not have been given the money to pay for it? The next big argument there is for school lunches are the outrageous pricing. Even as adults, we know that eating out every day adds up over time. But for children who are at school and can't just go home for lunch, or may not have the groceries at home to pack a lunch for school, there is no other choice. From the website New Food Economy, in the article, countless American families are saddened with the school lunch debt. Many won't even pay off their school debt. They talk about how this one child had a bill of $1,000 that his parents were not aware of because they were under the impression that the paperwork they had completed to receive free lunch was approved. How could anyone who is from a low-income family even begin to afford these prices? Lunch shaming is another big flaw in our school lunch system. Why should a child be scared to go to the lunchroom and eat because of the simple fact they don't have any money in their account to eat with? In the article from PBS, U.S. schools rethink lunch shaming policies that humiliate children with meal debt. For school to not have the decency to serve children a hot meal, but instead might offer them a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. That's where my plot is. If you were sitting at a lunch table and you were eating a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and the person across from you is eating spaghetti or pizza and french fries and all that, how would you feel being the person there eating a peanut butter and jelly sandwich compared to that child who's eating spaghetti? Also, that goes along with another common thing that's happening in school nowadays with bullying. If a child that may not think that they may think they're better than you sees you there eating a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, they probably know why you're eating that peanut butter and jelly sandwich. So of course they'll pick on that student, and that student will have to suffer with those consequences. On the website Civil Eats, in the article Can We Stop Children from Being Shamed Over School Lunch Debt, it talks about the measure that schools take to get the money on a student's lunch account. For example, an Alabama elementary school stamps a child's arm with the message, "I need lunch money." A Minnesota school district warns graduating seniors that they will not receive caps and gowns unless their meal debt is paid. A New Hampshire cafeteria worker is fired for serving students with outstanding lunch bills. It should not be the child being punished or put to shame or going without something that they have no control over. Some schools have tried a program that supplies all children with free lunch if they have the money to pay for it or not. This has provided an amazing change to the students. On the website, Chalkbeat article, Free School Lunch for All, the schools that have switched to a free lunch program have increased their students' healthy weight range by 1% and have had a small drop in body mass index. Along with this free lunch program, they have also made school lunches healthier for the students. In the article, Benefits of School Lunch, on the website FRACA, it explains how the new nutritional standards are making a positive impact on food consumption of fruits and vegetables. So not only is this helping the students have a great meal every day, but it's also teaching them how to eat healthier. In conclusion, I have spoken on the reasons why starting a free lunch program is important for the students. A few topics that I have spoken on were why free school lunches should be offered, what is a typical school lunch debt, lunch shaming, and the outcome of free school lunch. Thank you for listening to my speech. Are there any questions?
Yes. Do you think the free school lunch should only be offered to the low income families, or should it be offered to the whole school?
I think it should be offered to the whole school, because even if a child's parent makes good money, that doesn't mean that that family actually has that money. They could have all the bills to pay, and then that child is just left without food.
And you mentioned in your speech that that school that was offering free lunches, it was healthier. If it was offered locally here, do you think the food would be just as healthy, or do you think it would change?
I think it would, because along with the students getting a free lunch, the state is looking to enforce more healthier lunches to try to decrease the obesity rate.